Hey, welcome! Today we are diving into something really fascinating, where ancient wisdom meets cutting-edge science. We're going on a hunt for nature's secret weapons in the fight against one of the biggest threats to our health today.
But let's kick things off with a pretty chilling question. Just think about it for a second. What if a simple infection, a scraped knee, or a routine operation could suddenly become a life-or-death situation, all because the medicines we've always relied on just stopped working? Sounds like a movie plot, right? Well, it's a future we're actually racing to avoid.
And this number, 10 million, this is what's at stake. It's the number of people projected to die every single year from drug-resistant infections by 2050. I mean, to put that into perspective, that's more people than currently die from cancer each year. It's a staggering figure, and it shows you just how urgent this problem is.
So what is this invisible enemy? It's called antimicrobial resistance, or AMR for short. People often call it the silent pandemic because it's been building in the background, and to really fight it, we first have to understand it.
Now here's a key thing to get straight. AMR isn't about our bodies becoming resistant to drugs. Nope. It's the germs themselves, the bacteria, the viruses that are evolving. They're literally learning to fight back, building up defenses against the very medicines we created to kill them. And this creates these incredibly dangerous germs you've probably heard of, superbugs.
I love this analogy. Think of it like this. For decades, our antibiotics were like a master set of keys that could open any lock. But the bacteria? They are master locksmiths, and they're working 24/7 changing the locks. This means scientists are in a desperate race to find completely new keys these superbugs have never even seen before.
So where do we find these new keys? Well, this desperate search is actually leading scientists back to the oldest pharmacy on the planet, nature itself. I mean, for millions of years, plants have been in a constant chemical arms race with germs, creating their own potent compounds just to survive.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures the situation. On one side, you have this incredible, almost unbelievable potential, just sitting there in our gardens and forests. But on the other, turning a plant into a safe, reliable, mass-produced medicine is a whole different ballgame, with some massive scientific hurdles.
All right, so let's get to the good stuff. Let's meet a few of these antimicrobial all-stars that researchers are getting really excited about. And you might be surprised. You probably have some of them in your home right now.
First on our list is garlic. You know, it's been used for thousands of years as more than just a way to spice up your food. It has a super long history in traditional medicine, and now modern science is finally catching up and figuring out why it works.
So the secret sauce in garlic is a compound called allicin. It's actually what gives garlic that powerful, distinct smell. And in lab studies, this stuff is a beast. It's been shown to stop the growth of some really nasty bacteria, like E. coli and S. aureus, which can cause some pretty serious infections.
Okay, next up, oregano. We're not talking about what you sprinkle on pizza. We're talking about the potent essential oil derived from it, which is another ancient remedy that's getting a serious second look from scientists. And it's all because of one special little molecule.
And that molecule is called Carvacrol. In lab tests, its track record is pretty incredible. It's been shown to be effective against the bacteria that cause cavities, and get this, even some strains of MRSA. That's the superbug staph infection that is a huge problem in hospitals. Pretty amazing, right?
And for our final all-star, let's talk about something truly ancient. Myrrh. Yeah, that myrrh. For thousands of years, this tree resin wasn't just used for incense. It was one of the most valuable medicines in the ancient world for treating wounds and infections.
So here's what makes myrrh a potential game changer. It seems to have this unique ability to kill bacteria that are dormant, basically bacteria that are hiding out and not actively growing. Most of our current antibiotics can't touch these guys. And what's even better, it doesn't seem to make bacteria resistant. That's huge!
Okay, so you're probably thinking what I'm thinking. If garlic and oregano are so great in the lab, why isn't my doctor just telling me to eat a bunch of it? Well, the journey from a promising result in a petri dish to an actual pill in a pharmacy, it's a long and incredibly complicated road.
And this right here is the biggest hurdle. Killing bacteria in a glass dish is one thing. The human body? That's a completely different universe. You have to figure out the exact dose. You have to make sure the body can actually absorb and use it. And most importantly, you have to be sure it's not toxic at the levels needed to work.
So yeah, turning a plant into a reliable medicine is a massive challenge.
You need years of expensive, rigorous human trials. You have to figure out how to make sure every single pill has the exact same amount of the active ingredient. And you have to test for every possible side effect or dangerous interaction with other drugs. It's a huge, huge process.
So, what's the end game here? Where is this all heading? Well, the future is incredibly exciting. But let's be clear. It is not about throwing out antibiotics and just using herbs. No, the real promise is so much bigger than that.
See, the goal isn't just to replace our current drugs. The real holy grail is to use these natural compounds as blueprints. Scientists can study molecules like allicin from garlic and figure out exactly how they kill bacteria. Then they can use that knowledge to design brand new drugs from scratch that are even more powerful and precise.
So, this is the scientific roadmap. You start by finding and isolating that one active compound in the plant. Then, you put it through intense clinical trials. From there, you can either develop a totally new drug inspired by it, or maybe you combine it with an existing antibiotic to make a super combo that bacteria just can't fight.
And all of this leaves us with a pretty incredible and hopeful question to chew on. You know, this fight against superbugs is one of the biggest scientific challenges we've ever faced. But maybe, just maybe, the answer isn't something we need to invent, but something we simply need to rediscover, hiding in plain sight, in the gardens we've been tending to for centuries. Thanks so much for joining me.